Universe 6 down to its last remaining fighters, Goku finds himself in battle yet again against Super Saiyan Kefla, only now with his Ultra Instinct powers having to be regained. Goku pushes Kefla to her limits as a fighter, but will it be enough to forcefully eliminate her from the tournament, or just as history has proven before, is Kefla going to ultimately recover in gaining a massive Zenkai boost to boost her chances in the tournament as she fights Goku? And with essentially time running short for Goku, he is left with no other option than using the Ultra Instinct Kamehameha to get the job done against Kefla. What is going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome to my Dragon Ball Super episode 116 review entitled The Sign of a Comeback, Ultra Instinct's Huge Explosion, leading into next week's exciting episode of Dragon Ball Super episode 117 premiering on Thanksgiving weekend, in which we are going to be doing a live stream on the channel, in which is going to showcase the end of Ultra Instinct. And in case you guys have missed out on spoilers, then you would essentially know exactly what's going to happen in next week's episode involving the androids alongside Universe 2. And again, I do want to say, if you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and smash that subscribe button and turn on all notifications by clicking that bell icon. That way you guys can be notified whenever a brand new Dragon Ball video is posted onto this channel in connection to Dragon Ball Super news, information, updates, spoilers, leaks, and discussions. Hashtag Dragon Ball Squad, the return of Ultra Instinct. Was it too soon? Was it done in a tacky way? Well, based on last week's episode having to transition into tonight's episode, Kefla seemingly enough was the only person worthy enough of pushing Goku to his breaking point. However, did she get the job done, or did ultimately Goku just squash her mid-battle? We start the episode off exactly where we left off, with Goku having a stare down with Kefla as he jumps on top of this cliff and he begins to power up. Now, I also want to note that from Goku's body, we get to see how there's some kind of steam, some kind of smoke, some kind of heat that is emitting from his feet, from his back, from his head, and he begins to power up to where everyone at the Tournament of Power, including the gods, including the Omni King, are relatively shocked as to how strong Goku has become. And during this whole process, we get to see how Krillin even says that Goku is giving off a tremendous amount of heat, and Whis says that fighting Kefla has reawakened this power, this energy within Goku to flare, and everyone essentially at the tournament, including Frieza and the androids, are starting to feel the after effects of Goku's power up. And we also get to see how Goku actually speaks here, which is very unique in and of itself. But Kefla, to her credit, doesn't back down either, because just as Goku powers up, we see how she jumps on top of a cliff and she also begins to power up as well. And noted by Kabe, she's also getting stronger by the minute as well. So even though Kefla is nowhere near the remote magnitude and power compared to Goku, but at least to that extent she's trying. So everyone at the tournament stage begins to feel the after effects of Goku's energy, especially Goku more so than anybody else, even to the point where Kefla herself even acknowledges Goku's energy and Goku's heat flaring from his body, in the idea that she's not determined to lose, but she powers up to Super Saiyan 2 anyway. So it is confirmed that based on her power up alone, she goes from Super Saiyan straight into Super Saiyan 2, and she feels very confident in her ability that she has what it takes to take on Goku, as she is interested in the amount of heat that he's putting out from his body. And then finally, at long last, we see how she engages with him, and I was very pleased and very surprised to see how Goku very casually was ducking and dodging and avoiding every one of Kefla's attacks, to the point where Kefla was getting so aggravated and so irate at the idea that she really couldn't touch him, that Piccolo even notes that Goku's power-up has triggered even a further growth in Kefla, as it is sort of like a vicious cycle that every single time Goku gets stronger, Kefla gets stronger as well. Except here, it looks like Kefla has absolutely no chance in even remotely touching Goku, let alone even being relative. But what I found most interesting was how the Universe 6 Kaioshin as well was starting to get more into the groove of being more aggressive and sort of acting more like a cheerleader per se, because he finally realized that, you know, Kefla had no remote chance in even touching Goku, so thus he was trying to cheer her on. And Vegeta actually had a shocking revelation in predating back to his training with Whis, and having to remember how Whis was telling Vegeta and teaching Vegeta about how the body is supposed to move on its own. And it finally clicks with Vegeta in the idea that this is what Whis was talking about the entire time in Migate Tenno Goku, in trying to learn the mastery of self-movement ever since the beginning of their training that predates all the way prior to the Resurrection F Saga, when they first started training with Whis. So we see how Vegeta begins to get very irate at the idea that Goku had now become the person that has actually learned Whis' training. And throughout all of this, Kefla, to her credit, she tried, and every single time she attempted to attack Goku, literally she failed, even to the point where there was one sequence where Goku had embedded his feet as sliding down the cliff, and he used his eyes, similar to how Jiren used his eyes, in pushing Kefla back. And throughout all of this, it was kind of weird to see how Kefla was able to stand back up after having to withstand several shots from Goku. And Goku, as he's ducking and dodging and using his ability to fight Kefla, he doesn't remotely seem to be concerned. But personally for me, I do enjoy the fact that she is remotely keeping up with him, even though she is absolutely no match against Ultra Instinct Goku. She still points out several things from Goku, including his heat, including his energy. Apparently enough, Goku's energy now can be felt, as noted by Krillin, as noted by the Omni King, as noted by several characters at the tournament stage, to where Goku's energy just keeps on flaring at tremendous rates, at enormous levels. And with that, we see how even Jiren is beginning to get bubbled by this, as Jiren finally wakes up and Toppo and Dispo ask if he's actually interested in Goku, and the Universe 11 Kaioshin actually thinks the same thing, because they're wondering as to why Jiren's awake. And we already know that Jiren's primary concern is to take care of the strongest, and as of right now, Goku, seemingly enough, is the only person at this tournament stage that is worthy enough of even fighting him, even if Jiren had beat him before. But there was one specific scene where Goku had moved so fast behind Kefla, he literally unleashed a barrage of attacks where it literally knocked Kefla down, and she wasn't able to do much. And the only thing I seem to disagree with was the idea that despite how many shots Kefla took, she was still keeping up with Goku. She kept coming back, but it also looked like Goku kept getting tired, and there was something about the form itself to where we see Goku, he's clenching onto his fist, he seems to be a tad bit out of breath, and Krillin is actually amazed that Kefla can actually get up after taking so many of Goku's attacks, as was I, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you. And Goku, even after beating up Kefla, says, "What, is that all?" mocking her fusion. And right towards like the middle / ending of this episode, we see how Kefla was getting very irritated in having to power up even further, because given the idea that Goku was mocking her and saying, "What, is that all your fusion has?" it triggered Kefla even further to powering up and unleashing more of her energy. And I think, to everyone else's surprise, Kefla attempted to do everything she could in order to literally cut back Goku, in which she kind of did. She kind of, tore a bit of his shirt off, but either way, Kefla vows to hit Goku with everything now, as she literally starts blasting away. And I mean, to the point where like the entire arena is being affected by Kefla's blast. But Goku, again, he's ducking and dodging everything, jumping from rock to rock, and finally, as he jumps on one of these rocks, noticing that Kefla just keeps getting stronger and stronger, and these red lightning strikes just keep on hitting Goku, or at least attempting to, we see how Goku, as he's ducking and dodging, he flares up and he begins to cock back for the Kamehameha. And I will say, for Kefla in this episode, she did seem very, very cool at the very end, because we've never seen a fusion, aside from probably Vegeta back in Dragon Ball Z, really go all in as Kefla did in this episode, with her lightning strikes, with the amount of ki she was pouring out. It looked like she actually had Kaioken as well, even though she did not. We saw how the amount of energy she was pouring out resembled that, and she finally unleashes these two discs and formulating them and merging them into one blast, and Goku literally skids off of it. Like, he bounces off and literally bouncing in front of her and unleashing this massive energy blast. And of course, to everyone else's concern, just in case anyone out there was wondering, it looked like by the very end, Goku had done his job and finally eliminating Kefla, to the point where the Ultra Instinct Kamehameha was so powerful, it broke the fusion. It crushed the Potara underneath the pressure of the Kamehameha, and thus causing them to separate. Kefla is now eliminated. Now, for anyone out there wondering, as to if these girls had enough time, as a singular fusion up against anybody else, they were great, but against Ultra Instinct Goku, it literally caused them to defuse as they were falling off of the stage, as of course with the Kamehameha being so powerful, and thus having 2 remaining members for Universe 6, that being the Namekians. And I think it's safe to say RIP Universe 6, because for me, I did not even expect to see Ultra Instinct ring out Kefla, as we've noted before with Jiren having to knock Kale Berserker out of her form. I did not expect to see Ultra Instinct Goku do that, but of course, that just goes to show the establishment of how strong Ultra Instinct is in comparison to a fusion, as even Whis says that it was wise of Goku to use a Kamehameha for a last blow since he couldn't charge it up while dodging anyway. So Kale apologizes to Champa for losing, while Caulifla on the other hand is just furious as to what Goku had did. And what's interesting enough is we get to see Jiren, he's standing with Toppo and Dispo, he's staring out in the distance, and Frieza. What I truly enjoy about Frieza in this episode was not only when Goku was powering up did he acknowledge him and was he interested in learning, but he also at the very end seems to notice Goku tiring out, as Goku actually powers down from Ultra Instinct back down to his base form. And Frieza even notes that he could see a heavy toll being taken on Goku's body after using Ultra Instinct. Meanwhile, Vegeta actually vows to learn and master Ultra Instinct before Goku can. So the way the episode closed off, I think, was very unique in the idea that for anyone out there who wanted to see Kefla go, you guys got your dream. She's finally out of there, and by the very end, all that's left for Universe 6 are the Namekians. But the way Goku walked off at the end, with him being so hurt and slowly having to step into the shadows while all the explosions are happening, was pretty amazing to me. So I also want to say one more thing. I want to say rest in peace to Hiromi Tatsu, the voice actress for Bulma. Again, by the end of this episode, they showcased a brief tribute for her. So again, RIP to her for everything she's done within the world of Dragon Ball for Dragon Ball. So I hope you guys can go on ahead and just pay your respects for that and show some love for her, and of course everything she's done for the overall franchise itself. But in the end, I would like to know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are your overall thoughts on Ultra Instinct Goku having to return? Was it done too early? Was it showcased a bit tacky as comparison to what we saw before with Goku having to fight Jiren? What are your overall thoughts on Kefla? Her moveset, I would have to say, in terms of what she had to offer, was very unique in the sense to where she felt more like Gotenks in creating her own moves and presenting herself as very arrogant and cocky even during battle, and I ultimately want to give her credit for lasting as long as she did against Goku. So post your comments down below. What did you guys think about the episode? What did you guys think about the score and of course the animation? I would like to hear what you guys have to say down in the comment section below. Tune back onto the channel for the breakdown review and alongside the predictions, as we're all going to gather together as a community in discussing next week's episode alongside a live stream tomorrow in which we are going to further discuss the events of Dragon Ball. Thank you all so much for watching. If you guys are new to this channel, don't forget to go on ahead and punch that subscribe button, but don't punch it too hard because I don't want you guys to break your screens. If you guys enjoyed the episode, if you guys enjoyed the review, go on ahead and smash that like button, guys. Tune back in for more. To me, I think that Ultra Instinct should have been saved. I don't think that it ought to have been utilized so quickly. However, with Jiren now having to wake up, everything just feels a tad bit rushed with the overall portrayal of Ultra Instinct, of Jiren having to wake up, because it just felt as if he went into his meditation state, as if Goku was just recuperating from his first fight with Jiren. But I would like to know what you guys have to say down below. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Once again, tune back in for more, and I'll be seeing you all down in the comment section below. Have a great day, everybody. Peace.